a bunch of girls, a 2-hour window, a bottomless brunch. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as you can imagine, quite a lot. But what it does do is it gives you an absolutely amazing insight into buyer behavior. Welcome to What's That Got to Do with Marketing, where we start with a story you did not see coming. It might be fun, could be funny, or even a little bit frantic. But in the end, it will all make sense, leaving you with a takeaway, a to-do, or a transformational way forward. And I'm your host, Victoria. And you, my friend, are here for unlikely lessons and unforgettable marketing advice, just for small B2B expert-led business owners. Let's get into it. This episode is called Bottomless Brunch Marketing. Now, just a week ago, there was a bunch of us girls and we got together for a bottomless brunch. Now, if you've ever been on a bottomless brunch, you'll know it's not the brunch that's actually bottomless. It's not extra food. It is as much alcohol as you can drink within 2 hours. So we decided, what an awesome idea. So 6 of us went off for a bottomless brunch in one of our local towns. And we arrived, we sat down, having a lovely little chat, very, very sensible. And that was where it all started. Now, the first thing was, as our starter, a couple of beers just to kind of, loosen up, whet the appetite, that kind of thing. Then came along for the palate cleanser about 4 jugs of different cocktails. And then we had a bit of grub and we moved on to the next course, which was a whole bunch of fizz. 4, 5 bottles, who even knows? And by this time, we're getting a little bit silly and we're having a good old time. And when we left, which was a couple of hours later, we decided that absolutely we need one for the road. And that was about 3 p.m. And I'm ashamed to say I did not get home until about 11 p.m. that night. Now, the next day, as you can imagine, there were 6 sore heads, and the girls' WhatsApp group confirmed, yes, we are in fact a whole bunch of dickheads that don't know when to stop, don't know how to be sensible, and certainly do not know what the word moderation actually means. So, what has that got to do with marketing? Well, absolutely bucket loads, because when people think that time is running out, it changes their behavior. Urgency kicks in, whether that is drinks at a bottomless brunch or indeed somebody wanting to get a spot on your client list. Buyer behavior changes when urgency kicks in. Scarcity, it makes people act. So this is something that we really need to think about in our marketing. If you've got boundaries, if you've got things people need to actually consider when they're making their purchasing decisions, things like this change behavior. They act. It creates momentum. It creates traction. So I'm going to tell you a few different psychological triggers that you can really factor into your marketing that will help you to get more people saying yes. Now, we've touched on the first one already in my very messy bottomless brunch that I had with my friends, but it is this scarcity thing. You've only got 2 hours. What does that mean? It creates a rush. It creates behaviors that make people want to get the most of it, take the opportunity while it's there, why it's presenting itself. So scarcity is definitely something to think about. Secondly, there's this whole thing of loss aversion. People don't want to miss out. And if people are thinking, I'm going to miss out on those cocktails, it's almost like I'm going to miss out on this deal. So that's something for you to think about. People don't want to miss out. They don't want to lose out. They want more. They want more for their money. They want more of time. They want more, whatever it is that you bring to them, they want more of it. So it's thinking about how you can wrap that up in these psychological triggers. And the third one is social proof. And we talk about this a lot, but for me, social proof really is one of those things that helps with the tipping point. It helps people to get over the line, to make the decision. So, thinking about how you can bring social proof to life in your marketing, it increases the perceived value of the thing you're doing. Okay, so that's another really important psychological trigger. If you want to get people to take action, tell them how people have gone before them and how they've experienced your product or your service. Because in doing so, it really does make people think, that's me, that's for me, I want that too. And the fourth one I want to highlight to you, this is all about, FOMO. How many times have you felt FOMO? Fear of missing out. Now, we can't stop it. Whether we want to feel it or not, you can't help it. But it creates momentum, which is fantastic. And it's just this feeling that if they don't take the action, they're going to regret it later. And who wants to live with regret? Nobody. So there's 4 different psychological triggers for you to have a little think about adding into your marketing. So let's have a little look at some of these in practice. And I've showed you one already. We've put a time window on something with the Bottomless Brunch. You've got a 2-hour window. But another one that you can use are things like early bird offers. So getting people to sign up to something early in order to get the best offer. That's a really good example of scarcity. There's only a certain amount available by a certain date. So the early bird is a really good one. Now, the other one that is quite popular and something that I certainly use definitely on my more ring-fence programs where I can only take a certain amount of people in them because I work quite closely with those people. It's that whole thing of there's only 3 spaces left. Yeah. So have you got a product or a service that you can apply that to where you can say, we've only got room for 2 more. We've only got room for 5 more. Whatever your scale is, that also drives action. So how can you fit that in? One that I often use there is, for one of my services, I can only take 2 clients onto it per month because I don't have the capacity to work with many people on a one-to-one basis. So I'll only take 2 per month. And that drives the behavior of, I want one of those. Sign me up. I need to get in and have that one space that's available. So that's another really good example there. Now, the third one that I want you to have a little think about is, it could be, I've got 10 free templates to give away, something like that. So what can you give away that people really want? And again, put some scarcity around it. So I've only got 10 of these to give away. They do this quite a lot in the art world, don't they, if you think about it? So they'll only print a certain number of pieces of art from the original. And then you feel like you've got something special because there are only X amount available. Yeah, so think about that for you. Can you use something of that nature in your business? There's loads of different examples here. What about it's a private invite only? So it's only these special people that have got invited. So if you're invited, you feel like you've been given a really hot ticket. And again, that drives the behavior of, I want to be part of that. Now, have you ever been in a position, or can you get into the position in the near future where you're launching something new? You've got that whole founding members thing. People often want to be part, or the first one to be inside something. They want to be the first one in. They want to be part of that first group. So can you build something like that? Have you got something like that you're launching that you could bring into play and do a campaign around that? So lots of different ideas, and it doesn't have to be manipulative. I always say do this with integrity and make it the truth, but it can be used very, very strategically in your business. And I would say that when you're running a marketing campaign, it's one of the key things that you need to consider. What are the psychological triggers that I'm building into my marketing campaign that will help people to take action? We've spoken before about many psychological triggers around things like the transformation that customers need to see. But this is specifically around what are the things that are going to get them to take action right now. And these are absolutely key. So if you're ready to start taking action, I'm going to give you a little bit of a framework of what you can do next so that you can get this in place. So number 1, think about an offer that you can apply a psychological trigger to. That urgency. It doesn't have to be anything new. It could be a program that you already have. It could be a service that you already have. But how can you package up some scarcity around it? How can you package up some social proof around it? How can you package up that FOMO, that fear of missing out around it? So it doesn't have to be new. It can be something that is already in existence. Now, once you've done that, I want you to think about exactly what it is that you can put into it. Is it a deadline date? Is it a certain number? Is it a time limit? So think about all of those things that you can build into that offer. Okay. Then the third thing is to plan all of your marketing around it. What marketing channels are you going to go out in and tell people about this? Is it going to be going up to your database and sending emails? Is it going to be some sales phone calls to say, hey, I thought about you because I've got this offer going. I've only got 5 places left and I didn't want you to miss out. Is it direct messages on LinkedIn? Is it social media posts? So think about all of those channels at your disposal and plan out which ones you're going to talk about your new offer within. Having clarity over that is really important. We don't want to wing it. We want to make sure that we then plan it out. So if we're doing an email marketing campaign, for example, if we're doing social media DMs, we want to plan out the entire campaign, not just the one, but the reminders that go out after to say, hey, I've only now got 2 spots left. Or for example, tomorrow is the last day on the early bird offer. And the next day, today is the last day of the early bird offer. You've only got 1 hour to go. Create that frenzy, create that urgency. Because they'll be thinking at 2 days to go, no, I probably won't do that. They'll be thinking at 1 day to go, do you know what? I actually might. And then at 1 hour to go, oh, bugger it, I'm going to go for it. That's what people do. And let me tell you, I've done it so many times myself. So just don't be afraid to talk about things more than once. Build the hype, build that fear of missing out, build it all in. It's all part of a marketing campaign. Like I say, it's not manipulative. It's about having strategy around this stuff. So once you've done that, get it out there. Send it, post it. Whatever it is that you need to do to get it out there, get it done. Don't wait. What are you waiting for? This is just opportunity to make sales. Get it out there and then see what happens. Make sure you measure results. And also not just measuring results of the whole campaign, but think about what email, what post, what message, what phone call was the one that they responded to. Because you'll be quite surprised. Everyone thinks that that first email they send, if they don't get a response to it, or that first DM or whatever it is, that first phone call, if they don't get a response to it, then the opportunity is gone. But that is so far from the truth. I've just proven it time and time again. It's the second, it's the third. They're the ones that make the most impact. They're the ones where lots of the responses come from. And so many people just don't bother. So many people just don't keep going. Remember, a no is never a no until they actually say no. And even then, it's probably still not a no. It's, I can't afford it at the moment, or have you got payment plans, and so on. So just keep on keeping on is my message from this. Now, of course, I want to help you implement this stuff. I don't want to leave you to your own devices. I've given you a whole lot to think about there. And more than anything, just summarizing this, you've got to build in psychological triggers into your marketing. And if you want to learn how to do this, it really, really does mean learning the steps, learning how to get it done, learning how to create that offer, learning how to implement that offer. So if you need help with that, all you need to do is email info@allstarmarketingclub.com and put in that message to us, create an easy yes offer. And I will send you over a little bit of magic that is going to help you get this done.